I'm looking at scale 17A, and it says a number put in this function machine changes according to a rule. So I look here and I can see that if I'm applying 16 to the rule, I get a 4. 23 into a rule and I get an 11. 31 into a rule and I should get 19. Which best describes the rule for this machine? So I have 4 answer choices here. And one thing I like to look at is the difference here. So I have 16, I'm putting it into the machine, and I'm getting 4. What is something that I'm looking at, or something that you realize here that you can see between my two numbers going in and coming out? Yep, the numbers going in are larger than what is coming out. So I know if I were to add 16 to a number, or a number to 16, it should be greater than 16, not less than. So I know I'm not adding any numbers, so I can already do that. I also know that I shouldn't be multiplying. If I multiply 16 times any number, it should be larger than 16. So again, C is out. So I'm stuck between A and B. Now A says that I should be dividing by 4. B says I should be subtracting by 12. So let's check both of those. So I'm going to start off with A. So I'm going to start off with 16. Going to divide 4 and see if I get 4. So let's see, 16 divided by 4. Let me get my multiplication chart out to make sure. So I look at my 4s and I look for 16. I find it here and it's in my 4s. So yes, 16 divided by 4 is 4. So that is correct. So should I stop there and say that is my correct answer? Nope, I need to make sure that the same rule applies to each and every one of them. So let's look. I have 23 now, and I'm going to be dividing it by 4, and I want to see if I get 11. So same thing, I'm going to the 4s and seeing if I have any 11s. So I go to 4, I do not see an 11 here, I see a 12. But that's not going to work. I need to make sure that it is equal to 23. And remember, so I can already tell you that 23 is not a multiple of 4, so this is incorrect. This is wrong. So since I can already tell you that's wrong, I know A is incorrect. Can you see here that if I would have just stopped right here and circled A as my number, A is my answer, I would have gotten incorrect. But now let me make sure B applies. So here I have 16 minus 12. So let's do 16 minus 12. This is my rule. 6 minus 2, that's 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So far this matches. Now let's do the next one. Let's do 23 minus 12. 3 minus 2, that is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. I have 11. Does that match what I have up here? Yep, so far this is true. Now let's look here. I have 31 subtracting 12. Can 1 take away 2? No, it can't, so I have to borrow. This becomes a 2, and this becomes an 11. 11 minus 2 becomes a 9. 2 minus 1 is 1, and I get 19. Do all three match correctly? Yep, so I know my rule here is to subtract 12. This would go right in the middle. So now I'm looking at letter B. So I'm looking here and it says a number put in this function machine changes according to a rule. Which best describes the rule for this machine? It says F, number in plus 16, number out. So whatever's going in plus 16 will be the number coming out. So let's check all those. This is plus 16, minus 16, and on. So I am noticing one thing here, and I already scratched out an answer choice because I can already tell that my numbers are increasing. I have an 8, I'm applying a rule, and I get a larger number. Same situation, I'm adding a rule to my 10, and I get a larger number. So I know that I am not going to be subtracting. So I decided to scratch out. I am not subtracting. Let's look at this next one. I'm multiplying by 3. That is an option. It is going to make my number greater. Or I'm going to be dividing by 3, which is something that is also going to make my number smaller. So this is not an answer. So I'm going with F, which is to add 16. And then I have H, which is to multiply by 3. So let's apply these here. So I'm going to start with 8. So I'm going to do 16 plus 8. And let's see if we get the answer of 24. 6 plus 8. 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 2 more is 14. So I have 4 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I do have 24. Does that match here so far? Yes. Now let's look over here. Now we have to make sure we apply the same rule to every single one. Just because it's correct for one does not mean it's automatically our answer. So now let's look over here. I have 10 and I'm going to be adding 16. 0 plus 6 is 6. 1 plus 1 is 2. I get an answer of 26. Does that match what I have here? No. So this already tells me that it is not my answer. So I'm going to look at H just to verify. So I'm going to look H and I have to do 8 times 3. It should equal 24, but let's check. I have my multiplication chart here. 8 times 3, 1, 2, 3 is 24. So yes, this is correct so far. Then I'm going to do 10 times 3. Well, I know my 10, so 10 times 3 is 30. And does that match what I have here? Yes. Now, lastly, let's do 7 times 3. Over here it says it should equal 21. Well, let's check. 7 times 3, 1, 2, 3 is 21. So this one is correct as well. So my answer should be H. Go ahead and do the rest on your own.